Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Welcome everybody. Let me know how my audio is, please. I'm running this little mic right here. It worked pretty good last time. Welcome back everyone. Audio great. Okay, cool. Thank you. Clear but a little soft. Sounds good. Easy come, easy go. Thank you. Sounds good. They hearing kissing me. All right. I've been hearing everybody lately all over the internet talking about how, oh yeah, there's something going around getting everybody sick. And I remember just a couple of days ago, I was thinking, well, I'm glad it ain't me. But whatever it is, it found me. So I'm not feeling 100% today, so I may cut it short. Whatever's going around did find me. I don't know how. I hadn't been going anywhere, but this is January the 13th. We are live, 2026. This is episode 274. I am Tim. I work for Golf Cart Garage. Go to golfcartgarage.com if you haven't lately. There's been a lot of changes, and we're continuing to put more changes up there on the website. So check the website periodically. You may find something that you didn't realize that we have now. So check that out on a regular basis. Lots of things are being tossed around, lots of new ideas. David Irwin, good afternoon, Gearheads. Stephen Kuhn, greetings from Barth, Florida. David Irwin, hope everybody's doing great. Gene Hansen, let's see, what's up? Joe Foster, good afternoon. Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Bart Gilman, good morning from California. Cold at night in the morning, but clears up and warms up in the afternoon. Now, maybe that's what got me, because that's what it's doing here in Arkansas. Cold at night and in the morning, and then it warms up. There's Rhea. Hello, Tim. Hello, fellow Gearheads. Rhea is the one who helps me now before I go live. So give Rhea a shout out there. See, that's Rhea spelled backwards, R-H-E-A. She helps me every week before I go live now. Larry, what's up there, Larry? Hey, all, it's a beautiful 60 in Cabot. Kirk, hey Tim, looks like Florida is finally, yes it is, a beautiful day, by the way, Larry, in Arkansas, in central Arkansas. Looks like Florida's finally getting its winter today. It's chilly from here. Greg Elliott. Tim and everyone, my internet and Wi-Fi went down last week the same time you hit the wrong button. I hope for a good episode today. Yeah, I hope I didn't cause it, because I did. I hit the wrong button. Something changed, you know. OBS, I don't know if any of y'all know what OBS is, but it's the software that we use to go live. And there are updates, just like, you know, updates for your phone. And sometimes when you do an update, you don't know what it changed. Well, apparently something changed last week. Freaked me all out. I couldn't find it, and I had to start back over. Easy come, easy go. Good afternoon, Tim. Thank you, sir. Galactic, what's going on, Daniel? Please give Tim a like. Maybe he'll do Hat Day. David Irwin. Hey guys, beautiful, clear, and sunny 44 over the Chesapeake Bay here in Machapongo, Virginia. Rich Eastman. Audio could go up about 30%. I have got it wide open. Mike Irvin. Hey Tim, it's 53 in southwestern Indiana. I'm gonna get that audio right one day. I've tried several things. Uh, 53 in southwestern Indiana. Keith. Oh, okay, Keith, I got you. Remember I told you the names are changed now also in the chat, so I don't quite recognize everybody. In Palmetto, checking in, sunny and 70 in Palmetto. Benny Russell, go ahead. My sound is all the way up and I can barely hear. All right, I'll have to work on that. Haven Speckman, hello, all from chilly South Texas. What's going on, Haven Speckman? Mesopotamia, Nowodarski. Mesopotamia, Nowodarski. Mesopotamia, Nowodarski. How did I do? Joe Foster. Audio great in North Carolina. Volume definitely needs to be bumped up. Okay. That's my wife, Cat Free, 83. She says she can hear me good. Audio good here in California. All right. What about if I just talk like this? How was that? Did that do anything? $69 degrees, audio is fine, low. Have an electric motor out of a 2011 Columbia Park car for sale if anyone needs a cheap motor, 3648 volt. Testing 1, 2. Testing, testing, testing. All right. Let's go ahead and get started with some regular questions. Okay. Let's see where I'm at here. Okay, question 1. Try putting mic on your hat. That's what I did last time. I had it on my hat. If that's better, I can do that. I'll do that here in a second. I'll do it right now. Testing, testing, testing. The new solenoid has positive and negative markings on the smaller terminals. The old one does not. Is it important to have correct polarity? All right. I got it on my hat now. Testing, testing, testing. Looks like to me, I can see the line. Looks like to me that it's about the same. Testing, testing, testing. Can't please everyone. Okay. Yeah, that's what I think. I'll have to get a more expensive microphone set up, most likely. Okay, the answer to this question, the question was, before I lose track, the new solenoid has positive and negative markings on the smaller terminals. The old one does not. Is it important to have correct polarity? Well, it would only be important to have correct polarity if there's a diode across those two small two small terminals. I've demonstrated that before. Oh man, I almost lost my whole computer just then. I guess I didn't do it with this solenoid. I did it with another one because this one does have a diode. And it's got positive and negative, you know, it's got a positive thing, but they just want to, the reason they put the positive and negative, they want to make sure that you look for the diode. If there's no diode, it's most likely not going to have positive and negative on the solenoid. This one has a built-in diode. That's little diode right across those small terminals. That's why there's a positive mark there, because you got to go to where the gray band is pointing. for the positive side. So it's only important if there's a diode. Other than that, it can be either way to activate that solenoid. Number 2, Daniel says, I still have some cool stuff to send. I'm sending you later to look at, Tim. Okay, cool. Sir Walter says, what's the function of the diode? The diode only lets electricity flow in one direction. It only lets it flow in one direction. That's what a diode does. It's like a check valve in a water pipe, but it's a check valve in an electrical pipe. It's for safety reasons on some golf cart electrical systems to keep them from voltage feedback to blow up the controller. It's not necessary for the cart to run, but it is necessary as a safety feature to keep accidents from happening. Tim, I put a 36-volt lithium in my cart, then I ordered the reducer block, hooked it up to the battery, hooked the yellow output to the lights. Excuse me. Where does the black ground go? Well, you have to understand, you know, what you're trying to do with the reducer, and this is where a voltmeter would come in really handy. Is you're going to have an input side of that reducer, and then you're going to have an output side. Okay, the input side is going to go to your lithium battery, your 36-volt connections, one on positive and one on negative. On the output side, you're supposed to be getting 12 volts. Now, before you hooked up anything, I'd put a voltmeter on that output side and see if that's working. And if that is, then you can come in there and install a switch or something on any of the output lines. You know, you could put a switch to turn it on and off. Sir Walter, it's because certain electrical systems don't need that safety feature. It has to do with series carts and run toe switch carts. I mean, not all golf carts are created equal. You know, their electrical system is they go about things a little bit different way. This is from Tim H. I have a 93 Club Car DS, 4 years, probably meant to say 4 years old. I bought new wheels and tires for it, and I've been running it quite a bit down our road. I've noticed the right front tire is really getting worn already on the outside, so I was wondering if there's something I could do to remedy this, like a front end alignment or new pieces or parts for the front end. Sure there is. Wait, what did I do? I clicked on something else. Sure there is, Tim H. You need to check for slack first and see if you notice anything obvious. Like get down underneath the cart, raise the front end off the ground, grab your wheels, start moving them back and forth, and see if you can find some slack, you know, that's unusually a lot. That's the first thing you need to do. And then after that, do a front end alignment, which is on that car is 1/8 inch toe in. That's a good question, Mesopotamia Nowardarski. Mesopotamia Nowardarski. That's a good question. I haven't had that question asked in a long time. And I do have an answer for that. I have, you know, everybody, if you haul golf carts long enough on any type of trailer, you do come up with a system that you like best. And you know those big, I got them over there, you know those big straps, the big trucker straps that truckers use to secure heavy loads? I like those. The reason I like them is because they're not skinny. They spread out the pressure across the floorboard. I throw it across the floorboard. The first golf cart on the trailer, pull it all the way up to the front, obviously, and throw one of those big straps across the floorboard. and strap it down to where you start smushing that cart down using pressure on the floorboard itself. That's the best way that I have found to secure them, is right across the floorboard. One strap will do it. My trailer would haul, I could haul 4 at a time. My trailer was, I sold it not too long ago, but the first golf cart on my trailer would drive all the way into the back of the truck. My trailer has a ramp on the beginning and a ramp on the end. So you drive up onto the trailer, but the ramp on the front flips over and hits the tailgate of the truck just right. So the first golf cart drives into the bed of the truck. Then you can put that ramp back down and put 3 more on the trailer. But yeah, I would use those big straps right across the floorboard. There's all kinds of ways you could do it, but that's just a real good way to do it. Bruce, hello from Westfield, Wisconsin. Just go across the floorboard if you use a big enough strap. It ain't going nowhere. I can assure you, it's not going to go anywhere. Lock the brake, go across the floorboard, you'll be good to go. Or pull it all the way to the front and go across the floorboard with it pulling toward the front. Galactic, I've used that method to unload carts. It works good, Tim. Yep. Y'all remember the pictures that Daniel sent me? Daniel, Galactic Technologies. He showed us that you can fit an entire Club Car DS inside a minivan. I never knew that. So he has a lot of experience at loading and unloading too. Number 3 from Eddie. I have screwed my 10mm nut all the way in, and the cart is running about 18, as long as the governor is still attached. Do I need to worry about over rev? I have a 2005 G22. I would say you don't have to worry about that. If it still runs good slow, you're good to go. Everybody screws the governor in on a Yamaha at least a little bit. Yamaha made it really easy to do with their design on G22s, G1s. I don't know about the newer ones or the brand new ones, but their gas carts were really easy to screw the governor in a little bit. So you just have to be careful not to go too far with the governor to the point where it starts affecting your low-speed driving ability. As long as you still got your low-speed driving ability, I wouldn't worry about it. You might not want to, put the pedal on the floor and just leave it there from now to eternity, but just short spurts, it shouldn't be a problem. Mosley 37, Roy Powell questions. We don't sell Roy Powell, but there might be somebody in the room. So go ahead with your question. Golf Cart Garage doesn't sell Roy Powell, but there could be someone in the room that has one, because lots of people have lithiums now. I mean, and we talk about all kinds of products here. We don't have to sell them to talk about them, so go ahead with your question there. I smoked the motor on my 78 three-wheeler. I smoked the motor on my 78 three-wheeler. I have a 96 workhorse that's in real bad shape. My question is, can I put the rear end with the motor on my resistor cart? I know you're probably wondering why I just don't switch over to the controller system, but it seems like a lot of work, and I also need a cart for this weekend. Also, can you tell me if the stock controller will work on 48 volts? The answer to that part of your question is absolutely not. The stock controller will not work on 48 volts. Now, it sounds like we're talking about an electric cart because you mentioned resistor and switch over to the controller system. Well, you could probably do that, Peter G., what you're asking. but it's not going to be plug and play. I mean, you might have to fab some stuff in order to make that work. But yeah, you could do that. And need to know about your 96 having a run toe switch or not. Stephen Kuhn, and cover the windshield or remove it. Stephen, I used to look at that when I would have carts loaded up, and more times than not, especially if I was going to go on if I had to go on the interstate or if I had to drive a long way with a trailer full of carts, I would remove the windshield. Now, have I trailered carts with the windshield up? Yes, but not 70 miles an hour. You know, I've done like 55, and I don't know, I just don't want to push it. I don't want to damage anything. So it's get familiar with how to remove your windshield, and then you won't ever have to worry about that. Because some of windshields are very, very difficult to remove once they're on there. So if my battery is fully charged, the charger keeps cycling on and off, not just randomly, but consistently. Have you talked to a Roy Powell representative about that question yet? Because, and I was going to ask you about your charger. Are you using a dedicated proprietary Roy Powell charger? All right, number 5. It's the Roy Powell charger, and I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Well, that would be the first place I would go, or find someone else, you know, that maybe has the same issue. But that would be the first thing I would want to do, is I would want to get a hold of your Roy Powell representative. Especially since you're using the Roy Powell charger. Maybe try sending an email or something. Maybe you'll get better results that way. I put a K&N air filter on my G2. She's backfiring a little when I let off the pedal. I'm thinking I need more fuel. Should I jet the carb or just keep playing with the fuel screw on the carb? Thanks for any replies. Backfiring a little. Number 5, keep messing with the fuel screw and check out the float height and make sure that your float and needle and seat is, that's about all you can do there. You just remove the carburetor, get inside of it, check out the operation of your needle and seat, make sure that all that looks good. You don't have any stopped up passages or anything. Basically, give it a full carburetor clean. Mesopotamia, Nowotarski. Drain transaxle fluid appears to have slight water contamination. Steps to remediate. Well, just drain it again. That's all you can do. I mean, that's what I would do. Obviously, it's gone through some deep water if you've got water contamination in the transaxle fluid. So that's about all you can do. Is drain it again, and you know, transaxle fluid is not very expensive. You can drain it as many times as you need to before, you know, till you get all the water out of there. You know, drain it, fill it back up, go drive the cart a little while, drain it again, and make sure you get all that out of there. Rich East, Maine. Wait a minute, I'm going too far there. Eagle River, what's up, Eagle River Mike? Hello all. Question: 2018 Club Car President. How does the rear differ? One wheel at a time, both at a time, or just what? Thanks, Mike. It's called what's an open rear end. That's what it's called, an open rear end. It freaks a lot of people out the first time they put their golf cart up on jack stands, and they go turn the wheel. They go turn one of the wheels, and they look, and the other one's not turning, or it's turning backwards, or it's doing something weird. And what really freaks them out is when they figure out they can hold the wheel and stop it, and then somebody can hit the gas pedal and that wheel would turn, and you could go over here and stop this wheel, and then this wheel would turn if they were both in the air. That's an open rear end. That's the type of rear end that is the easiest on grass. It's the easiest on grass. It's the, you know, it doesn't tear up your grass when you turn. You know, otherwise, you know, you could tear up your grass. If the weight is even, I can tell you this from my race car, because my race car still has an open rear end, believe it or not. I did not weld the gear shut. It is not positive traction. It should be, because if you'll notice in some of the videos, it does spin out on asphalt for about 10 feet. But I have noticed, as long as the weight is even, like when I'm on the start and I'll sit in the middle of the seat before I'll punch it instead of on the driver's side, and if weight is evenly distributed across both rear tires, they tend to both pull pretty good, you know, without slipping. But when you're riding around by yourself, it's not going to feel like that, you know, when you're driving on the driver's side. Rich Eastman, I have removed the top and windshield of my precedents if I'll be driving on the highway. The wedge at the back of the top cracks very easily, and there wouldn't be anything holding it down. I've lost a roof before, Rich, so I get you. I have definitely lost a roof on the interstate around north of Houston. Stephen Coon, I have a plywood cover for my windshield. Never had a problem hauling it. All right, that's cool. Whatever works for you. Yeah, I got an email back from RP, but it was not a response to the question I asked, but it was an advertisement for them in China. I just saw this was live and thought I would try real quick here. All right, does anyone in the room have any experience with Roy Powell for Mosley 37? Is there anyone that has a Roy Powell experience? Because these lithiums, you know, there's so many of them nowadays. There's so many different lithiums. They each have their individual problems. Ricky Hall, was even a problem with the lead acids? Jerry Kelly, hey Tim. Okay, number 6 where I'm at, I think. Did I do number 5? Yep. Backfiring. I would check into that carburetor. Number 6 is from Mike. Have a 98 Easy Go. It runs great. Clocked at 41 kilometers. The problem is that it started blowing all kinds of smoke. I removed the air filter and there's a puddle of oil in there. I clean it out and it does not smoke anymore, but eventually it happens again. I suspect bad rings and that the oil is blowing by, being sucked back into the cylinder and burned. Does this sound like the cause of the problem? A 98 Easy Go gas, so we're talking about a twin cylinder Robin. That could be the problem, but I would have questions to ask first. We've talked about that on this episode or this show many, many times. I would want to know if this is a lifted car or not, or is it just a normal stock golf cart? I don't know how much. Somebody look up 41 kilometers for me, and because I'll be able to tell if it's probably lifted, depending on how many miles per hour 41 kilometers is. Is that what it was? 41 yeah, 41 kilometers. Somebody let me know how many miles per hour 41 kilometers is. Because that seems kind of fast, so that leads me to believe that it's very likely a lifted car on taller tires. Well, if it is, then we're going to go down that road of possibly having too much oil in it, because some lift kits change the angle of the motor and it makes the oil go in a different place that it's not supposed to, and it can end up in places that it's not supposed to. So a lot of people, in order to remedy that problem, they just have to remove a little bit of oil. You can't use the recommended amount when you when you have your motor tilted. David Irwin says it's 41 kilometers, and Kevin Rabbit is 25 miles per hour. See, that's pretty fast, especially for a gas golf cart. So that makes me believe that we're probably talking about a lifted cart on taller tires, maybe even with a governor adjustment if they're already going 25. Ricky Hall, you missed my statement. Was even a problem with the lead acids? You missed my statement. I don't see it, Ricky. What's the statement? Was that 6? Yeah. Oh, but also do a compression test, if it starts smoking, then do a compression test. But I'm suspecting that that's not it. Mesopotamian Noworsky, you need a cough button. I tried to do it. I do have a cough button. Watch. Did that work? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not feeling very well. Hope I don't get worse. 6, number 7. I have a 2002 from Adam B. 2002 Easy Go. What's the best way and what to use to clean the oil filter? The dealer told me water. Is that true? So you had the same issue as the Roy Powell guy, Ricky, you said. With a Roy Powell or with lead acids? Tim, don't breathe on Dino. He doesn't need to get sick. Dino's doing pretty good. Pretty good. My wife is out of town. She's in Texas right now with her family. My father-in-law's not doing too well. Dino, and so we're getting hit from both sides there. We're getting hit from my father-in-law. He's back in the hospital, and Dino's doing pretty good. I'm not sure about Dino. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Okay, number 7, dealer told me water. Is that true? 2002 Easy Go. Okay, we're talking about 2002 Easy Go oil filter that's not even poking out oil filter. It's a triangle that goes into the side of the motor and pulls out, and it's completely metal. It's, I would use, if I wanted to clean it, I would use brake clean. I'm pretty sure it's all metal. So if that's the case, you could use brake clean and then put a bunch of clean oil on it. That's what I would do. This is number 8 is from Richard. I acquired a Novayak GR plus 48 volt lithium kit. To put my mind at ease, can you confirm if all I need to do is plug and play for a 2013 TXT, pull out Trojans, maybe cut some tray tabs, main cables, and ready to roll? Ricky Hall with new DC house. Okay, so yours was new DC house. Oh, excuse me, I forgot my cough button. It's going to be, Richard, it's going to be plug and play, except for maybe one wire, especially if your charging receptacle that's on the golf cart has 3 wires coming out of it. One goes to main positive, one goes to main negative, and then one goes into a harness somewhere. A small one goes into a harness. That wire is going to need to be hooked to your battery positive of your lithium. But everything else is going to just be plug and play, just like you said, except for maybe one wire. Howie Peach, what's going on? Hey Tim, 38 in Ontario, Canada. I can't imagine living in, I've been in the South all my life, so it's hard for me to imagine living in Canada, you know, being cold all the time, or almost all the time. Not all the time, but that's hard for me to imagine. I don't know if I could do that, but I guess if that's all you're, you know, that you're used to, then it's not that big a deal. Because my DC converter was not wired through the key switch. Number 9 from Bill. I dropped new 12-volt, 100 amp hour lithium batteries to replace 4 Trojan lead acid. No problem until I found no lights, signals, or accessories. The golf cart shop said to add a 48 to 12 volt converter. However, how do I hook up? At a loss. Okay, Bill, you dropped 4 12 volts to replace 4 Trojan lead acid. So we're talking about all 12 volts. The problem, no problem until I found no lights, signals, or accessories. The golf cart shop said to add it. Well, how was that working before? Is what we need to determine. How were your lights and signals and everything working before? Because you just replaced 4 12-volt batteries with 4 12-volt batteries. If you hooked everything back up the same way that it was before, then your lights and everything should still be working. So what I'm saying is, are you sure you didn't forget a wire or two? And by the way, you could just hook your lights to one of those batteries. I don't know how your BMS would like that, but it could have been hooked that way before. Now you could get a 48 to 12 volt reducer if you wanted to. Number 10 is from Henrik. I have read that 6 8-volt batteries are better than the 4 12-volt batteries and the club car precedent. Thanks. If by better you mean longer range and longer longevity in years for the set of batteries, then yes, it is better. 6 8s are better. They came out with the 4 12s. They had 6 8s for a long time. They came out with 4 12s, and then people started complaining that their golf cart didn't drive as far. They couldn't play as many rounds of golf, or they were having to replace the 4 12s sooner than they had to replace the 6 8s. So a lot of Club Car, in fact, came out with a retro kit where you can put a kit in your battery tray and reconfigure it for 6 8s because people wanted to go back to 6 8s. So if you mean better by that, then yes, 6/8 are better. 6/8 has more lead than 4/12s. I know the 12 volts are big, they're big, but they're not twice as big as an 8. So in other words, 4/12s weigh less than 6/8s. So in lead acid batteries, that directly correlates to the amount of range your golf cart is going to have. But it also helps with, longevity of the battery pack. As long as your charger is working really well, then you could get a long time out of a brand new set of 6/8s. But I've seen 4/12s go bad as soon as 3 years. Yeah, that's why I said, Kurt, I don't know how the BMS would like it. Now on lead acid, it doesn't matter. You can just hook it up to one battery, and depending on how often you use your lights or your signals or all that stuff, you might have to, charge that battery with a 12-volt charger occasionally just to bring it back up. I'd keep an eye on it with a voltmeter. Get voltmeter readings on it and see what it's doing, and see if it is going out of balance. If not, then don't worry about it. But the lithium, if he tried that, there's a BMS involved. So I don't know how that BMS would like that. So that might not be the greatest of ideas. It would work, but it might not be the greatest of idea because of BMSs and being involved. All right. I don't have any questions, but there's my email. Not questions. I don't have any pictures to show today. I don't have any let's see pictures. So send me some pictures, guys. 00timfreeman@gmail.com. Send me some pictures of your golf cart, whatever, your project you're working on, your dog. I'm into a lot of different things besides the golf carts. So send me some pictures that are cool that I could feature. People seem to enjoy the Let's See segment, this segment when I have pictures. Here's the hat graphic. I'll go ahead and announce it. We're going to try to give away a hat next week, Tuesday. I'll verify that with my wife because, like I said, she's out of town right now, and she's got a lot of things going on between Dino and her father. So we'll see if we can do a hat day next week, and we'll get back on track with that at least every other week. I know we've been kind of lax lately since the holidays, but we'll get back on it. And by the way, I don't know if I said this already, but we definitely have now put everybody back in the hat drawing. Everybody. For a while there, we were kind of calling them out so more people could win. Well, I think the people that have already won a hat have probably had time now to get that hat dirty. So everybody's name is back in there. Everybody's name is back in for 2026. So we could have some double winners, Stephen Kuhn says you have to use an inverter on lithium. You do. I mean that's what I was saying. I don't know how the BMS would like that. Oh, Mesopotamia. I did get a picture of your niece. Yeah, I did get that. I didn't know who it was from though. I couldn't tell who it was from. So I will be glad to feature that picture of your niece. I wasn't sure if that was spam or what, but no, it didn't go to the spam folder. It came to me. I did see that. And your niece was a cute little girl in a little plastic car. Greg Elliott, Tim, please explain the difference between inverter and converter. What do you mean by converter? Like normally what we're talking about there, Greg, is we're talking about a voltage reducer. I mean, you could throw both of those words out. You know, don't get confused with those words. We're talking about a voltage reducer. That's what you need. People call them different things, and it kind of confuses the matter. Barclay, I have an older Yamaha electric cart. It jumps a bit in forward but can't go forward. Same when moved to reverse. How old, Barclay JB? Is it a controller cart? It has a controller, an electronic controller, or does it have resistors? How old are we talking about? Because the symptom you're describing, I have seen that symptom when a controller goes out. There's a lot of different symptoms, but that is definitely one. Sir Walter, wishing you a quick recovery. Thank you, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the cough button. Stephen Coon, like and subscribe. Kubota Black, checking how to get. What's up, Kubota Black? Inverter is DC to AC converter, raises or lower. That's correct. Yeah. Inverter is DC to AC. So in other words, an EasyGo RXV, the controller is actually an inverter. So it takes your DC batteries and converts it to AC, and a converter raises or lowers DC voltage. There you go. That's a good definition. Step down converter. Yes, that's what I was saying. There's a lot of people call them all different things. Probably resistor, over 15 years old. If it's resistor, those are pretty easy to fix and relatively cheap to fix, whatever the problem is. It could be your you could have it could just be a bad solenoid. You know, it could be something as simple as that. So on that particular car, if it is a resistor car, you could bypass the solenoid and see. And you bypass the solenoid by putting a cable across the two big posts and see if a car runs. If it does, then your solenoid is bad. Greg Elliott says, thanks, Rich. Bart Gilman, people out here are riding on Facebook. They've had this cough for 2 to 3 weeks. My wife has it and has had it for a long time. I was just, one of the guys I follow on YouTube, believe it or not, I follow people on YouTube too. And one of the guys I follow, he was coughing, and he said, anybody else out there got this cough? You know, he said, I've had it for 3 weeks, headache. And well, this is only my second day. So I don't know how it found me, but. Eric Boucher, hello all. What's up, Eric Boucher? All right, guys, I think that's going to be it. I'm not sure about my coupons. We need to, I don't know if you're still listening, Rhea. We need to find out about my coupons and see if they're active so I can show those. I don't want to show them if we're not. Remember, we sell a lot of new stuff that we didn't always sell. We have access to OEM parts now at Golf Cart Garage. We have access to Club Car and EasyGo OEM parts. If you're interested in that, if you know how important that is very important. There are some parts that you just can't get away with it, you know, without having OEM as a replacement. Some parts you can, but some parts you can't. We have, go to Golf Cart Garage, we got Bluetooth speaker sets, you know, for golf carts. If you're thinking about putting a stereo or something, it's so easy nowadays with the Bluetooth speaker stuff. I mean, I used to go all out and install stereos in the dash and cut the ball thing out and slide it in there and fabricate a mount bracket for the back, and I used to do all that. I'll never do that again. Bluetooth speaker all the way. Time to break out the whiskey and honey. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think I have some wild turkey that I can do that with. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody coming today. We are going to get back on the right track. and start giving away hats. Like I said, we're going to try to have a hat day next week, and I'm going to find out if we've got any more. Kubota Black says he's installing the in-dash radio now. It's not easy. You know, it's not easy. I mean, I removed, the ones that I did, I always removed the front body of the golf cart in order to install it to, you know, to make clean wires and get all that set up right. So it's not easy, and it's so easy now to get the Bluetooth speaker and just hook it to 12 volts, whether you've got a step-down converter or whether you've got a 12-volt battery in there. I just don't think I'm ever doing it again. Okay, that's going to be it, guys. Go to golfcartgarage.com, check things out. Send me some pictures at 00timfreeman@gmail.com, and send me some pictures, and I will feature them. All you believers, lift Tim and Kat family in prayer. Get better, Tim. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on in my family right now. My father-in-law was in rehab from the emergency room, from the ER. He's now in rehab. He's 95 or 96, and Dino did make it to 15. Dino is now 15. Dino turned 15 in January, or earlier, a few days ago. So Dino did, he did make it to 15. He's not going away. I mean, he's still with us. So he's doing pretty good, but I do have it hitting me from all directions. And now I'm getting sick, so yep. My wife says, please don't encourage him to drink my bourbon. Mike Irvin. Big Mike, extremely late. Sorry to hear things are tough. Started here in 26. Thank you, Big Mike. Yeah, things are kind of tough, man. Epzig, B.L. Epzig. That's pretty cool name. Howdy, y'all. What's going on, B.L. Epzig? Welcome. You're coming in right at the end. We're fixing to close it down. But come back every Tuesday, like and subscribe, and you will get a notification. Hit the notification bell. You'll get notified every time I hit that timer, and then you'll know that you know it's time. We're fixing to go live and get your questions ready. Joe Foster, hit that like button. Thank you, sir. Kirk Bauer, sorry, Cat. Yep, she's got a lot going on right now. All right, guys, I will see you all next week. Looks like it's going to be the 20th. Ricky Hall, tell him to disconnect his reducer to see if his charger stops cycling. Okay, I got you. What was his name? Okay, it was M. Osley, or Mosley, 37. A suggestion from the room, Mosley, 37, if you're still in here, to disconnect your reducer and see if your charger stops cycling. All right, guys. Thank you for coming. Garage is now closed.